Okay, the next few minutes you're going to be filling in two different worksheets. Let me see if I have them both here. I do. You're going to be doing find the rule and fill in the missing boxes and the in and out boxes with integers. I am going to first go over with you the in out boxes with integers. On your test, you're going to have a box where you need to fill it out, just like you practiced in your warm up. I gave you the in. Remember, our inputs are our x's, our outputs are the y. The rule is multiply by 9. So you'll take every input and you're going to multiply by 9. So negative 10 times 9 is negative 90. Negative 6 times 9 is negative 54. And you'll keep going through that. I'm going to challenge you then to write a simple equation that would match the rule for this input output box. So if I have to multiply each x by 9, my rule written as an equation would be 9 times whatever number for x they give me equals y. That's the little extra I want you to try to do for each one. So I'll help you with the next one. You obviously will need to finish that. The rule is divide by 2. X is your input, Y is your output. So if I have negative 22, divide it by 2, I would get 11. If I take X is negative 8, divide it by 2, I would get negative 4. If x is 2 divided by 2, I get 1. What if I just want a generic rule that if I made up a number, you could make it fit in this table? For example, what if I gave you the number 13, even though it's an odd number, not fun to divide by 2? Is there a general rule we could come up with? Well, sure. We're taking whatever number x I get and dividing it by 2. So x, any number I'm giving you, divided by 2 will equal my y. We talked about this when we were solving equations. Fractions mean division. So you take your x, divide by 2, you get your output. All right, this is your x and your y. It says now take the x or the in, subtract 4. Oh, be careful. Negative 23 minus 4 is negative 27. Negative 11 subtract 4 is negative 15. So again, the rule is whatever x I give you, I subtract 4 to get my y. Okay, I would like you to finish this page. But before you do, let's get started together on the next one. Find the rule. So it's kind of doing what we were doing, but I'm going to give you some missing parts. So we have to find a pattern. Again, if this is my x, this is my y, I can think of a few ways to go from 1 to 4. I could minus 3. That would get me to 4. I'm sorry. You could divide by, no, you could multiply by 4, not divide, silly me. You could take that times 4 to get to 4. So now let's look at the next one. 4 to get to 7. Wow, am I really crazy over here or what? 1 minus 3 is not 4. I hope some of you caught that. I could do 1 plus 3 equals 4. I could do 1 times 4 equals 4. My apologies, kind of silly. So now I'm looking at 4 and I have to figure out ways to end at 7. Well, when I look at my options here, I could do 4 plus 3, but I can't do 4 times 4 to get to 7, so that is no longer an option. Let's look at how can I change an 8 to an 11. I'm noticing that plus 3 worked here, plus 3 worked here. Oh, I feel like I found it. So what number would go here if we follow that same pattern? Plus 3 That would be 13. Working backwards, if I'm at 17, think of the mystery numbers. What must I have done? I would have to subtract 3, must have started at 14. So what could be the rule? For any x, we added 3 to get our y. Again, I apologize for the confusion on the first one there. So let's do the next one together too. We have to think of all the ways we could go from 2 to 10. We could add 8. We could take it times 5. All right. So when I get to this one, if I add 8, I don't get to 25. But I could say times 5. So that one works. So I have to erase that because whatever works for one, it has to work for the other. Then I go here. Oh, yeah, times 5. So then what would belong here? 10 times 5 would get me 50. Now we're working backwards. I already know the output. What must I have times by 5 to get to 60? So we would divide on our calculators, or some of you can do that mentally, and we would have had 12. Our rule then, if this is our x always and our output, we are taking all of our x's times 5. So 5x equals y. Excuse me. Again, for the next one, I can see a couple different ways to go from 9 to 1. We could subtract 8. We could divide by 9. So those are kind of some of our options. To get from 13 to 5, though, I could subtract 8. I don't think 13 divided by 9 would get me 5. So I believe that our rule might be subtracting 8. So if I subtract 8, yes. If I subtract 8, that would get me 10. So to work backwards, what number subtracted 8 gets me to 15? I believe that is 23. So whatever number we put in, we subtract 8 and we get our output of y. Continue finishing this. When you are done, the answers will be displayed. You may work with your table partner or as the sub says is okay.